Good afternoon, everyone. William Mosley here. I create promotional films, trade show kits, websites, and logos for passionate personal brands and corporate businesses. Today, we're talking about why shouldn't I turn my vlogs into seasons? When I first started watching vlogs, I didn't really see seasons of vlogs. I didn't really see any of that. I saw just one after the other. 1 second. Woo, that was a real close call. I swear that is a killer turnout. Okay, anyways. I never really saw seasons with vlogs, but as Casey Neistat kind of made his impact on the world, he eventually, introduced a season 2 to his daily vlog series, which in a sense made sense. It was like him kind of saying, okay, season 2, here's a year of my life. So every year was a season. But even so, he also did episode numbers, and I want to kind of talk about seasons and episode numbers and how they actually can cripple your creativity. So, the problem with season numbers and episode numbers is they're sequential. And when you're creating a film or podcast or whatever it is that you're doing, you come up with an idea, you start making it, and all of a sudden that film has an episode number. You have a certain idea of when that's gonna what the next one's gonna be, and that's all dandy and fine until you actually start creating multiple pieces of content. Maybe you made sub pieces of content from that original episode, or maybe that episode just isn't ready yet, but you happen to actually finish the next one in the queue first. Well, what do? Do you change the episode number? Do you kind of go back and forth? Doesn't seem that big of a deal, right? That's what I thought. I started my daily vlog 2 years ago, and I didn't really think of seasons. I literally made the episode numbers go all the way up to like 120 before thinking, okay, it's time to shift and change seasons. That shift was like, okay, Will, it's time to up your game. It's time to up the ante for what you're creating. And what happened there, it was actually a good thing. I feel like that season 2 really was what took me from like really mediocre to like starting to actually do some stuff. But what that did was put pressure to make every single episode better than the next. And when you start feeling that way with every single episode needs to be better than the next, or better than the last one, it starts to cripple the creative process. You're not able to think and flow freely because this idea that you have is not as good as your last idea. And the most important part about creativity and freedom of just, existing is being able to take an idea, something you're thinking right now, and literally being able to create something of it immediately. When seasons and episodes are based on having to be the best quality ever, you don't put all your quote unquote mediocre ideas out there. You kind of like keep them held in, and so that stifles a lot of it. And even worse, what happens is it's extremely hard to schedule episodes when they're part of seasons. This is what I mean. So let's say, for instance, your season 5, episode 16. In that season, it's supposed to go live, I don't know, 3 days from now. That seems cool. But you end up finishing another video, or maybe you got a piece of content from that you still want to post. Well, because that season's supposed to post, or that episode's supposed to post 3 days from now, that means you have to go back in and either change the date so that you post that one first and then post the one that you wanted to initially post, or you change the season numbers, which gets even more complicated, especially if you're putting, or not season numbers, but episode numbers, which gets even more complicated if you're actually putting them in the film themselves. It also creates, I don't know how many times I've forgotten what episode I'm on because I'm creating content so fast. It seems like a great idea, and I do think that seasons and episodes definitely have their value. You know, it's like this happened first, then this, then this, then this. But it also means that something that happens in the future, or should I say, something that happened today almost has to come after something that happened in the past. And when you remove that limitation where you literally can post whatever, no matter what the time or day or season or whatever it is, you get way less concerned about the date and the number and more on what the content is, what you want to push out. So let me give you an example from myself with this and why it's working so damn well. I'm podcasting right now in the car, and I've made 4 podcasts today, 3 on the way to work and 1 right now. Because each of these just has a specific focus, a specific question. The question was, do I need seasons for my vlogs or whatever? I'm trying to answer it to the best of my ability, and that's pretty much that. A lot of times these come out really well and really focused, and they don't have to be in any specific order. There are a couple of things that are kind of time-based, like say a holiday that you want to try to hit, but most of these questions, most of these things that I'm covering, they're almost evergreen. They're things that don't have to be episode 55. They could be episode 105 and it'd still be okay, because it's me, it's my voice, and surprisingly I don't change that much. I do think it's a good idea to try to be consistent in putting out, most of your content timely, but you don't have to when you don't have seasons. You literally can post something from the past, change the title, and there you have it. It's so simple. Hopefully this maybe helps within your thoughts of going back and forth with, like, should I use seasons or not. I think if you're only planning on putting out a film or a podcast once a week, I think that'll work. I think you'll be just fine with seasons. I think seasons and episodes, all that, I think it'll be perfect. But if you are putting out content daily, I urge you not to go with episode numbers or season numbers, because it will stop the creative flow. You'll be thinking too much about, damn, did I label this right, or damn, I can't post this because of this, or vice versa, instead of just posting it whenever and however at the flow and time that makes sense to you and your schedule. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Remember, if you need a wedding film, it's not too late to grab one from me. Obviously, I'll shoot your wedding. You can't just grab a wedding film. That would just be, you just grab someone else's wedding film. You can book me to shoot your wedding. It's not too late. So go over to heywillmosley.com and make it happen. All right. Bye.